Right, so boring part over. We will start with creating our first product. I will show you how to work with the products using an online course because it is the most content-rich product. It has the most settings and options, and by learning that, you will learn pretty much how all the other products work. So I'll just create a new online course. Let's call it Selling Digital Products, since that's what we are here for. You can choose a category, it just gives a little bit of context to the AI, and you can click generate. So in the course generation window, you can choose your language, and you can choose whether you want a short, a medium, or a large course. The difference is just in the number of modules and lessons that you are going to create. I always like to use the large course creation because it's giving me more modules, more lessons, more ideas, and it creates a more comprehensive course. And I can always remove the things that I don't need. You don't have to kind of use it you don't have to make everything that it generates. So here it's very nice to give it a description, and also when you're creating names, I recommend that you use the what for who template, so something like copywriting for marketers. So this is Selling Digital Products for Entrepreneurs. This is again the name that you use for the AI to understand what you're trying to do, and you can change that name later, that's fine. It's just a very important contextual thing. And so this course will teach people how to sell any digital product and so on. Right, so when you click generate, the way we do this is we are helping you create your product offer. This is the important part. So what we do is we spawn a mixture of experts. So we generate a bunch of experts, and they impersonate experts in your field, and they sit down and discuss what should be included in your course, so that they can propose different modules and lessons and write the landing page copy. You can see this is actually pretty fast, and I can see all of my course content here. So on the left, we have the curriculum. It consists of modules and lessons. Modules are these white boxes here, and the lessons are the gray boxes, and you will see this created a lot of different products. So we have different suggestions from the AI on like online courses, digital content, offers, leveraging marketplaces, building funnels, technical setup, and so on. So it suggested some pretty good things. And so when you're setting up your course, this is where you will be deciding how things work. And you can customize that curriculum. You can, of course, choose whether or not to add more lessons or modules. I also, even if you know exactly what you're doing, I also recommend that you do the generation, because it is just easier to rename them. So if you want to change this name, you just change the name and now it's another lesson. It's just easier than adding more lessons and then going and publishing them and so on. It just saves you a ton of clicks. This is also why these two check marks are here. So when you create a new module or lesson, it's automatically public, right? And you can also kind of delete them, get rid of them, and so on. Cool. So there's 3 types of settings within a course. First, we have the course settings, which are the general settings for the entire course. Then we have the module settings, where you will see we have on each module, you have a bunch of lessons inside, but you also have, if you click on the name, you will have the module settings. And then you can have a drip content, say that this module is going to be coming soon. You can have an exact date that the module is going to come out on. Let's say this module is going to come out on the 1st of, or let's say the 15th of January. And then if you have too many lessons within one module, there will be the option to create it a grouped module. So what this is going to do is it's basically going to create different groups within the modules, and so you can not just add lessons, but you can also add different groups and then move lessons into those groups, and so on. So first you need to create the group, and then you can add lessons to the groups, and kind of decide to order them in any kind of way. This is just if you have like a module with 17 courses and you want to kind of just group them into some sensible categories. All right, so we have also the module resources, which most of the time it's better to do the resources on the course level. You also have a course library on the course level where people can access the resources from any lesson and module. It's just easier. And if you start having too many, then you start moving them to the module lesson, to the modules. You can also use links for the resources, which I do recommend. You will see later on how I always use links, because links can be Google Drive documents that you can edit. And trust me, when you start creating exercise files and resources, you are going to mess things up and you are going to want to update them. So updating links is much easier. Then, of course, you can create an exam. And this exam is going to have different questions. You can add a lot of questions if you want to. And this will allow you to create, quizzes. You can have a small quiz after each module, and then at the end you can have a final exam with a certificate. These quizzes are going to get a lot of updates in the future as well, and they allow you to do quite a few things. So you can randomize the questions and answers so people don't cheat and tell each other, hey, on the first question it's A, on the second question is B. If you randomize the question and answers, the first question is not always going to be the first question, and the first answer is not always going to be the A, or like the correct answer is not always going to be A. You can also require a passing grade. Usually, of course, you're going to want to keep high standards and go for 100%. You can decide to show them the correct answers or not. And you can also use a subset of questions. This is extremely useful. For example, if you are teaching a large subject matter where there's a lot of questions to cover and you need to check with just enough questions. So a good example is like the exams for like getting your driver's license. They could ask you 100 things, but you're only going to get, let's say, 30 questions. And so this will say, okay, out of all the questions that I added, I want you to just pull 10 questions and make a random exam from them. We can show the correct answers. We can give people a few tries to complete it. And then we can also set a time limit of, let's say, 30 minutes. And we can say that this module is required to complete. So this is very nice for quizzes where you're asking 2 or 3 questions, and until they figure out the correct answer, you shouldn't let them pass. You shall not pass button. So again, if you decide to grant a certificate with the module or with the lesson, you can do it by clicking this thing and customizing your certificate. We have recently done an update on the certificate, so they can be landscape or portrait. They can be branded with your own branding. You can put your own custom background image to customize how it looks. You can change the colors to everything that you like. Customize all the text and content, and basically generate dynamic certificates for your courses. This is awesome. You can just use it if you want to. All right, so now let's move on to the important part of the course. This would be when you enter the course, it's always here in the course settings. So especially when we get later to the website builder, the most important parts will be, of course, the name of the course, which displays everywhere. So I'll shorten it to Selling Digital Products. You can add, for example, a very simple YouTube video to present your course and tell people what it is about. Save it. You can add a thumbnail image. Let's say maybe, what is this? This is about selling digital products, so let's use this TV now. And then when you are selling a course, it is extremely important that you at least answer these 5 questions. What is this course about? Why should I buy it? What am I going to learn? What are the skills that I'm going to gain? And this one is actually one of the most important ones. Is it for me? I'll give you an example. Let's say we are creating a course, for example, for traditional Chinese medicine. So now, is this a course for the patients and for people that can learn traditional Chinese medicine techniques to live a better life and avoid pain and whatever, or is it for doctors? Now, if you don't make it clear, it creates confusion. Confusion reduces your conversion rate and makes you lose money faster than anything else. It's like faster than getting married. So just trust me, always have a clear representation of who your course is about and for. And if you have any requirements, like for example, if it's for doctors, you need to say, all right, is this for medical students or for experienced doctors and so on? And always add trust factors and testimonials. We'll be talking a lot more about this when we start creating offers and landing pages, so don't worry about it. Anyways, going back to our product, you also have some content settings where you can uh, enforce the module order, make the people complete the module before they can go to the next one. They can watch the lessons in any order they want, but not finish the module. You can also force them to watch the order and complete them in order. And you can also, this is actually very aggressive, you can make them watch 100% of the video before they can go to the next one. And this only works, of course, with videos that you upload to Skillplate. Now, these two are actually important. Module numbering and module lessons. You will see here, when I created my course, I have module number 1, but it's not a part of the name. And it's also definitely not a part of the videos, because you can decide to add a new introduction. You can decide to add some lesson or module in between later on, and then you're going to have to renumber all of them. I've done this mistake. It's terrible. We had to remake 56 thumbnails. It's a nightmare. Just keep those two clicked. Trust me, it's a good idea. Then you can also send a custom email with any product. So this email is basically what they're going to receive when they buy the product. So here you can do some creative things and just kind of welcome them with a specific message to that given product. We'll talk more about email marketing and the notifications a little bit later on. And you can add yourself and your social media channels over here. Now, I'll show you something very cool that you should know. So most social media channels have a way of creating the link in such a way, you will see my browser here, that you can ask people to subscribe with the link. So I always use these kinds of links. And so this is a subscription link. And I can link my social media this way. And you will see now I will have here a section for the educator with my social media channels. And I will just show you a product that is already set up where you can see how it looks. And this is everything that you need to know about the Automagic website, right? And it shows you also all the resources that you have added to the product. So that's about it. This is creating a product. And when you do this, you have your product page, you have your checkout, you have your members area where people can consume the products, and you have everything that you need to start running your business, and you can just go and try to sell it. And this is what I recommend you do. Actually, this is very, very important. The name of the game in this business is selling. Selling is really the most important thing.